or paella if you pronounce it the English way. So this is obviously going to be a vegan one, and our main ingredients are going to be these chorizo style sausages.
Well, these are new.
This is
aren't
a
they?
brand,
Yeah.
and as you can see, they were reduced in Waitrose today, £1.75. I don't actually know the original price.
What's that
but
saying?
it looks,
What's that? Hura?
Hura. I'm gonna say they was probably about £4 or £5 maybe full price, because they look quite snazzy.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be using a bit of the Richmond meat-free bacon that we've got left over here, and then loads of veggies as well. So let's get cracking.
Okay.
And to make it more authentic, I've got some Spanish extra virgin olive oil. Woohoo! So let's whack a little drizzle in there right now and put our lovely paella pan on the stove. I'm going to put some in here as well. This is to just cook up the sausages before they get added in. So I actually got this pan when I was on holiday in Valencia, which, as some people may know, is the birthplace of the paella. And this was from a market stall. This cost me about €3 from the main food market in Valencia. And I'd actually seen the same ones in the UK being sold for like 25 quid or something, or even on Amazon for that sort of price. So if you're ever in Spain and you like making paella, get an authentic pan. I've got that in my suitcase with all my other stuff, so it was well worth doing.
Well, we were just discussing this earlier, wasn't it? How do you say Valencia?
Valencia.
Yeah.
If something's like got a Z sound,
Yes.
in Spanish it's pronounced with a TH, so it's not Valencia, it's Valencia,
Yeah.
apparently.
It's like...
And it's not chorizo, it's chorizo.
yeah, and tortilla is actually tortilla.
Tortilla. If it's a double L, it's pronounced as a Y. Anyway, that's for another day. In my pan, I'm going to add in, I've got one large white onion that's been finely chopped. So I'm just going to get this underway. And this we want to cook down for a few minutes. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit there before I add anything else. But meanwhile, I'm going to start cooking up my sausages. So, we've not had these before. This is a new experience for us.
Are you going to put whole sausages in there?
No, I'm going to cut them up, Andrew.
Good, yes. I think that should...
Sacre bleu. Oh, no, sorry, that was French.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew's all like worried what I'm doing with the sausages. I've got 2 packets of these.
I've got to admit, I don't know any Spanish swear words.
Alexa, off. Any Spanish? Oh, I know a few.
Oh, dear. Okay.
But I wouldn't say them in case we've got any Spanish viewers. They might be really offended. You never know. So I'm just going to cut these up into little bite-sized pieces, like so. And we want to fry them up. So we don't want to burn them, but we want them just to get a little bit of a crispness to them, I guess.
Yeah.
And they will be obviously added into the other pan in a little while. I'm just doing these separately because I want these at quite a high temperature. And this I'm doing on like a medium temperature. I just want this to just soften up a little bit.
Okay, let me help you out a sec and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
So everything was like really high octane Vin Diesel Fast and Furious style, like frying up really quickly.
It was.
And yeah, we had to pull it out the hat and put some attention to it.
Okay, so here we are now. As you can see, the onions are really browned up, so we're really ready to add the next stuff in. So I've got a red pepper, and this is about half of a courgette. Everything's been quite finely sliced this evening. I often don't mind doing big chunks in my sort of meals, but this is a meal that works well with things being cut quite little pieces. So finely sliced onion, finely sliced pepper and courgette. And we're going to add these in. And then I'm also going to add in, this is, I think 2 or 3 quite big sized portobello mushrooms.
Portobellos?
Portobellos. So they're going in there. And then I've also got in here, this is, Summer did this for me. It's just garlic, but she's done it in the pestle and mortar. Okay. So it's kind of a bit more...
it's a bit mashy.
It's a bit more of a garlic paste. So we'll just add that in as well at this stage. And this will just cook down with these vegetables. like so. So we just give that a little whiz round. And as you can see, these sausages are coming along nicely.
Look at the colour coming out of them.
Look at, the oil coming out of them. We obviously added oil to the pan, but not that much. So obviously quite fatty ones.
These are vegan sausages. What do you think? It looks like a turmeric or something coming out of them.
Yeah, I think they've got some paprika for the colouring in there. But yeah, they're looking pretty decent.
They're smelling pretty good as
I've
well.
also sliced up the Richmond bacon, so I'm going to add this into the pan now and crisp that up with the sausages.
Okay.
So we'll just continue cooking this for a few more minutes, and this will be added into this pan fairly soon. So let's come back to this. Okay. It's all cooking down quite nicely. What I'm going to add now is I've got 3 large chopped tomatoes, finely chopped, so they are going in. And I'm just going to continue to cook this down for the next 3 or 4 minutes, so bear with us and we get back to you when it's ready for the next bit. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, one thing I will do right now, let's season it.
All right.
So, we're going to add, of course, the classic salt and pepper. Now, I must admit, there is one really key ingredient that I don't have with me this evening. Because normally, in this dish, you would use some saffron. I don't have any saffron, sadly. The cupboard was bare with that one. But the other thing that is essential to a paella is sweet smoked paprika. So, let's get the tin open. It's always a bugger to get these things open.
It's a bugger, is it?
It's a bugger to get them open. And we're going to add a really nice big heaped teaspoon of sweet smoked paprika to this. And then also just a teeny tiny bit of turmeric. This is mostly for colour. So just about 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Right. So let's cook this down for another minute or two and then we'll get back to you.
This is also an opportunity for me to come up with some sort of story or something, isn't it? That has no
relevance to anything.
No, I haven't actually got a story.
Well, I've got a story. How about this?
Go on.
So, you may or may not already be aware of this, viewers, but as I mentioned earlier, Valencia is the birthplace of the paella.
Well, what I find amusing is your pronunciation of Valencia.
Do you want me to say Valencia and paella?
No, but then you would say bugger, which is very English.
Well, I know, because I am English, but I'm saying Spanish words.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Valencia is the birthplace of the paella, and an actual traditional Valencian paella. Okay, as we know, this is a vegan version, and I'm sure most people are familiar with paella being seafood and chorizo, or chicken and chorizo. Maybe with mussels and prawns and things like that in. But do you know what the 2 key ingredients of a traditional Valencian paella are?
Is it armadillo?
It's not, but you're not far wrong.
Really? Is it armadillo?
It's not armadillo.
Hold on. Is it?
But it's as bizarre as that.
Is it honey badger and sweet onions?
Do you know what? What an idea. No, it's not. The actual 2 main ingredients, or the 2 key ingredients in a traditional Valencian paella are snails and rabbit.
Do you know what? I was going to say snails. You know,
snails and rabbit, because they are...
Snails and rabbit?
Yeah.
How do you put them 2 things together?
Well, okay, I think what it is that this kind of meal is traditionally considered like peasant food. Right. In Italy, it's something that's really cheap and easy to put together. The ingredients are generally cheap.
Snails and
so
rabbits.
I think that people would have probably gone hunting and foraging rather than using expensive posh ingredients like steak or something like that.
So they just saw a lot of snails and a lot of rabbits knocking around the place.
And they've gone out foraging.
Let's make dinner out of these.
Yeah, basically. Do you know what, Andrew? I've said we're going to get back to our viewers. However, we've been waffling on for a few minutes, and I think we're actually ready for the next section.
Well, that's a real pity, because I've got a story now.
Well, okay, you can tell your story as I'm doing this. So what I'm going to do now, let me just talk through it first. Okay. I'm going to add this to this pan, and then I'm going to add the stock next. So Andrew, tell us your story. Well, there's some nice crispy bits in here, which is good.
When you're talking about peasants' foods, like people fish stuff a lot these days, and lobster is kind of like regarded as a bit of a luxury these days.
Yeah.
Apparently, lobsters used to be so fruitful in the sea that you could just like...
Vegetable stock going in. Carry on.
They used to feed prisoners lobsters. I don't know what sort of...
Really?
Yeah, because there were so many of them, and it was considered...
Because they were like vermin or something?
Yeah, it was considered, like peasant food, and like there was so many massive, great big lobsters knocking around in the sea, anywhere. There was like coming out to sea, biting people, and like people were kicking lobsters. You couldn't put your wheelie bin out for lobsters falling on you.
They were all over the...
From out of the gutter of the house and stuff, they were everywhere.
People were putting down lobster traps probably to stop them coming in their houses.
Apparently lobsters were everywhere, and nobody ate them. They were considered vermin and like not very nice to eat. And
do you know what? Even though nobody ate them, they were probably better times for the lobsters if nobody was eating them. Now they're being eaten all over the place. Yes. Poor old lobsters.
Well, like I say, they're considered a delicacy now. But there was a while when they weren't. They were vermin.
Okay, so sorry, just to cut you off there, sweetheart. We're now ready to add the rice into this dish.
Okay.
So I have just added vegetable stock, probably about, it was less than a litre, probably about 800 ml of vegetable stock in there. It's simmering away, it's at a nice temperature, so we're ready to add the rice. Now, I normally would get some paella rice for this. However, sacre bleu, Waitrose have stopped selling paella rice. It must be some sort of worldwide shortage or something. But you can quite easily use a Boreo rice, which is what you'd use in a risotto. The two rices
Boreo rice?
They're very similar.
Where does Boreo rice come from?
Italy.
Oh, so we're jumping from Spanish to Italian to French, and then we're saying bugger me, and it's in English.
Yeah.
This is very confusing
My
for a lot of people.
point is that the two rices are really similar. So, however, I would normally use this with paella rice, but you can substitute for a Boreo rice if you don't have any. So, having said all that, we're just going to sprinkle the rice equally over the pan like this, the amount that you need. For me, it's about probably just over half a 500 gram pack, so I'd say we're probably using about 300 grams. I'm just going to give it a very brief mix through, I just want it to be evenly distributed amongst the pan. I'm then turning the heat down slightly to a simmer. And then what I'm going to do next, viewers, is I'm going to leave this to simmer and not touch it at all for about 10 minutes. It's really important with this. You need to be very disciplined at not giving it a quick stir, because this is the traditional way to cook it. You let the rice, you let everything absorb in into the stock, or the stock absorb into the rice and the other ingredients. It doesn't matter if it sticks to the bottom of the pan a little bit. When you do come to stir it in 10 minutes, you can mix all that up. And those little burnt bits at the bottom are actually considered to be one of the best bits when you eat it as a traditional Spanish dish.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave this to simmer away. I will be keeping an eye on it though, because I don't want the stock to run completely dry. I've got a kettle on standby of boiled water, so if I need to, I may drizzle a bit of extra boiling water into it, but I hopefully won't need to do that. It does look quite ample with the amount of stock I've got in there. So we're going to leave this for 10 minutes and we'll get back to you and show you what it looks like then.
So here we are back again.
Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and as you can see, the stock has pretty much drained away. So I am just literally now going to add in a little bit more boiled water. I'm just going to sort of like evenly distribute it. And let's give it a stir now, because we've left it for 10 minutes without stirring and it has a little bit burnt onto the bottom, but that's okay.
That's what we want.
That's okay. Those bits are considered to be good bits. So, but I am just going to loosen it up a little bit now, because we don't want the whole thing to be like one solid matter. And we're about halfway done with this. So,
you need some elbow grease with paella from Valencia.
So, There we go. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So now the next few ingredients we're just going to add are the ones that take a lot less cooking. And indeed, you don't want to overcook them. So I've just got some broccoli and asparagus here. So little florets. Oh, that one's a little bit big, so I'll cut him in half. Little florets, and then also some asparagus spears, just like this. So I'm just going to stir the broccoli through first, and then the asparagus I'm kind of just going to sort of decorate on top. Let me just even this out a little bit. So these can just go in a orderly fashion.
One orderly fashion.
Yeah, they can be a bit decorative.
Okay.
Like this. Look how pretty they are. We love a bit of asparagus. So they can go on like that. These could have been a little bit shorter actually, just to... Do you know what? It's so aesthetically pleasing when things just fit. This is not necessary to do this, but I just wanted to.
Do we not need to stir it again or anything?
We do, but what we're going to do now, we're going to now drizzle it with some more boiling water. Because we still need to continue cooking. The rice isn't done just yet. So we're going to put some more on, like so. And... yeah, I reckon that's all good. So we're going to just leave it for about another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Until all these extra bits are nicely cooked up. And you can turn these as you go if you want to. But again, resist the urge to give it too much of a stir. And it's on the lowest of heats. So we will get back to you when this is all ready to dish up.
So here we are.
Here we are, indeed. And it's ready. It's been 10 minutes. Everything's cooked. The stock is all absorbed, which is ultimately what you want because it's not a wet dish when you come to eat it, only when you're cooking it. So everything's absorbed. The asparagus is looking nicely cooked.
It's looking pretty fantastic.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Now, what works really well with a paella is a squidge of lemon juice on your portion as you're eating it. So I've just got some lemon wedges here, which I'm just going to decorate onto the top of the pan. As you can see, it makes it look even prettier than it already looks. And this is pretty much ready to dish up now. So you can take this straight from the stove to your table and let your guests dish up their own portion, because it's obviously something you can choose how much you want to have. How much do you want to have, Andrew?
I probably will eventually have quite a lot of that.
Do you want to have a little taste just as it is?
Yeah, I can do.
There's a spoon.
Should we swap?
Andrew, as you know, is the chief taster in this house. So let's have the final verdict.
Okay, so this is my opportunity to swoon in.
Do you know what? I'm really proud of that. I think it looks pretty damn good.
It does, and I've got a lot of footage of it already. So.
Okay, come on then. Let's see.
So stop filming the food. I want you to film.
I'm filming you, Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm on you.
Because you've had all the limelight and everything.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to stroll in now like I'm like Paul Hollywood from Great British Bake Off.
Come on, Paul.
And I'm going to try some of this.
Okay.
And I think it's going to take a couple of tries.
Okay.
And I'm a little bit scared about it actually because it's really hot.
Well, just you be careful, darling.
So now I've got some of the rice and the vegetables. The rice is cooked really nice. You can feel that turmeric and chorizo has melted through to it. So here we're going to get a little bit of the sausage.
Oh yes, it looks nice. It looks nice done.
Let's try one of these new sausages because this
is
a new
snazzy new sausage.
Well, yeah, this is a new product we've not tried before.
I can hear you chewing.
We're going to have to get those sausages again.
Do you know what? As luck would have it, I actually bought 4 packets and there's 2 in the fridge.
They're really, really...
Are they good?
Yeah.
Do you think they make a good sausage sarnie?
They're really, really good. I mean, the texture of them, they're quite rubbery and... but I don't know, the flavours that come through those sausages...
Asparagus.
That adds
Is it cooked through?
Yeah, and it adds a little bit of a lightness to the dish as well. I mean, this is...
Andrew, you don't have to eat the whole thing, you know. Save
Hold
some for
on,
the family.
Well,
Andrew's having his quarter.
I need to be sure. That's too hot.
Well, you dug deep, baby.
That's really good.
Okay, I'm glad you think it's good.
I think if you went to a restaurant you could pay top dollar for that. That is an ultimate dinner.
Oh, babes, that's such a good compliment. Thank you.
That's really good.
I'm really glad you like it.
I'm not saying we've not squeezed lemon on it.
The lemon adds a little bit of a sharpness and a lightness to it as well.
I think I burnt my tongue a little bit there, but it's
It serves you right.
yeah, it's again another absolutely awesome vegan dish. And as I'm not a vegan, but I'll tell you what, vegan food is fun.
You should be a vegan. I think you're about 90% there these days, aren't you?
Well, I'm not. Yeah, but
you're not ready.
Well, yeah, only because I don't see anything wrong with having like chickens and stuff like that. But I know there's a bit of a thing with like vegans and stuff. But yeah, that is a great
vegan dish. Okay, well, viewers, thank you so much for watching tonight. And we're going to eat our dinner now and chill out in front of something fun on the TV probably in a bit. Yeah. Andrew's going to put his spoon down and let's dish him up a plateful. And we, of course, will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Happy dinners.